Willpower is and it's definitely not going to help you towards your health goals or lose weight. You've probably already figured that out. In this video, we're going to talk about why that is and what can you actually do to get you moving towards your goals and ensure that you hit goal weight. My name is Courtney Jacobs, and I'm a functional nutritionist. I help women off the yo-yo health cycle, and we do that by addressing the root cause issues that are stalling the body's weight loss, and we address root cause mindset issues so that when the body hits goal weight, you trust yourself to keep it off for the rest of your life. So what is the deal about willpower? See, I always leaned into willpower, but it failed me over and over and over again. So willpower is our ability to stick to things. It is like self-discipline. It is also finite. That means we only have so much of it. And it runs out towards the end of the day because we've had decisions. So if you ever notice, like when you have to make a move or you're going through a big situation in life where you have to make a bunch of decisions, there's a lot of decision fatigue that can happen. In today's modern world, we have emails coming in and social media and all kids and all of this stuff coming in that our brains literally get tired throughout the day. So in the morning we wake up and we're like, I'm sticking to it. And then we can pass the cookies on the counter 10, 15, 20 times. And then later in the day, we pass it and we cave. What happened? See, if we're only relying on willpower, then we will often fall in the trap of eating the food that we didn't want to eat. And then we feel like a failure. So there are some tips of how we can have more willpower throughout the day, how we can make that muscle a little bit stronger. But what I actually want to share with you most is how I don't have to use my willpower at all anymore because I have certain systems set up that ensure I hit my goals. So I don't have to rely on willpower anymore. I tell my clients over and over and over, I do not have more willpower than when I was 70 pounds heavier. I just have better systems. One of my biggest systems is using my key card. So in the beginning of the week, I look at my week. How busy is my week? What are things that I'm going to choose that I'm going to do? Movement, affirmations. What is my food going to look like? What things are important to me for the week? And once it gets written on here, I do this no matter what. Other systems that I have are all over my entire life. So here's a system. If I'm going to a party, I always make sure two things. One, that I've eaten before I win. I never show up to a party hungry. When I show up to a party hungry, I am setting myself up for eating all of the things. The second thing I do is I always bring a dish that I can have some of, so that no matter what, I know that there is food there. Typically, what I eat before and or what I bring is protein. Because when I have a good amount of good quality protein in me, I stay satiated. And when I'm satiated, it's a lot easier for me to make good decisions. Another system I have that I could not live without is my food prep. So I have different size containers, and what I do with these is I make a whole bunch of meat on the weekend. I'm by myself and I make between 6 and 10 pounds of meat. And what I do is these are for 6 ounces, these are for 4 ounces, and these are for 8 ounces. I freeze what I can't put in the refrigerator, and so I have portions of beef and chicken and whatever during the week. I invite you to get different size containers and make more food than what you think is needed. Even if you don't have time to food prep, what I want you to start doing is making twice as much of your dinner. Or what about 3 times as much? Because if you have a family and they're having leftovers, you want to make sure you have plenty of extra. So if you have healthy food around, it is so much easier to choose the healthy option when the healthy food is available. As for my workouts, I always have partners. So when I run, I literally never run alone. If you love running alone, that's amazing. I cheer you on. That's a hard thing for me to do. I can go out and walk alone and I don't mind that. But I used to need a walking buddy. So on Facebook, there are local groups, and I have found multiple different places where I can go run with people. I know every day of the week where there's a place where I can go run. And I sign myself up and I say, I'm going to be there. And so I click the yes to the invite, and then people know that I'm showing up. That helps me with accountability. With my lifting, I always have lifting buddies, and I schedule either classes with friends or times to lift with friends. When I have that, it's an extra piece of accountability. So when I wake up and I'm like, I really don't want to do this today, I have a system that's already set up, that I have a friend that's waiting for me, which means I literally never don't go. Even if I feel like garbage, I still go because I've made the commitment to them. As where if I was waiting for my own willpower, if I got off work and it was dark and cold and rainy, I might be like, I really don't feel like going today. I'll go tomorrow. But when I have a commitment to meet somebody else, that helps a ton. Before I go on a party or to a trip or out somewhere, I typically set guidelines for myself. If it's somewhere where I know I don't want to have sweets, here's the thing for me, here's a system that I have. Sweets are something that can continually trip me up. Still today. I'm not perfect. I have not gotten to a place where sweets never trigger me, which is why they're not allowed in my life all of the time. That doesn't mean that's what you need in your life. But if there are situations that have a higher emotional charge, if I know I'm going to be more tired than normal, if I'm not as grounded, I opt to not have anything sweet because my ground won't be as stable. So if I'm going to a trip that would be stressful or I know I'm going to be exhausted, I literally make a rule for myself, no sweets, because none is easier than some. And so because I use the key card and I've built the muscle of self-trust, when I say that, I actually stick to it. But I don't just tell myself. I have a food coach that I contact and that I talk to every week. And I say, oh, I have this trip coming up. I'm not going to have any sweets. Or I say, like, I just had Thanksgiving and I wanted to have chocolate bar, this like high percentage dark chocolate bar. And I wanted to have stuffing. And so I said, hey, on Thanksgiving, I'm going to let myself do what I want. I decided I'm not going to have the other sweets that they brought, but I'm going to bring some. And I make the commitment ahead of time. That helps save me from having willpower. When the decision is made ahead of time, I have a much more high likelihood of having success. Now, do I ever push that line? Yeah, there are some times that I don't. But 95% of the time, I literally stick to what I say. Maybe 98% of the time I stick to what I say now. And I really trust myself. One of my best systems is I log my food every day. So for the last 1,200 days in my app, I have logged my food. It's a non-negotiable, whether it's a great day and I nailed my food or I ate way more than I had planned. I log my food no matter what. And so that's just a way of me being accountable to myself, and it helps me get around needing willpower because I have a checks and balance that I get to look at. Am I moving in the right direction? So if willpower has been not your thing and you've been tripping up over I'm going to get it tomorrow, what I want you to do is start thinking about systems. Think about somebody who has hit goal weight and has kept it off. I don't use willpower. I just have better systems. So what is the plan we can make for you tomorrow? And if you do miss the mark, what is a system that we can set up for that specific situation so that next time you don't miss the mark, right? We'll just literally set up a system. If you want to click like on this video and subscribe, we will keep putting up more videos that will help you off the yo-yo health cycle. And there will be lots of more videos about what kind of systems we can set up to ensure that we continue moving towards our weight loss goals.